This is Cartoon Network, a channel which started back in 1992 as a compilation of Hanna-Barbera cartoons, which then grew up to become one of the biggest incubators of animated shows. But before we see them at their best, it's important to learn about them at their worst. By 2008, Cartoon Network had driven into turbulent roads. New ideas didn't stick the landing, while beloved shows kept living the program. It was then that a little short pilot came for adventure.
Let's do it!
What time is it?
Adventure time!
Adventure Time began back in 2010. Created by Pendleton Ward, it would go on to become the flagship show of the network up until its ending in 2018. Ever since then, the show has received 2 successful spin-offs. And while those have helped Adventure Time maintain its legacy, I believe Adventure Time already established itself as an infinite show. And I'm here to explain how. This is a show with great art style. Apart from the grassy areas, we see fire, ice, candy, slime, and even hell. It's a cohesive mess that somehow practically works. Even the title cards can be very creative, and while sticking with the concept of being old notebook pages, they can integrate different art styles even in accordance to their episodes. But the cherry on top that makes the world so believable has to be the characters.
Dude.
As a show inspired by Dungeons & Dragons, characters may seem at a first glance like common archetypes. A hero, a sidekick, a princess, an evil wizard. We've all seen this kind of stuff before. But they give to all of them, and even many side characters, some quite big development. Take Finn for example. While being a hero at heart, he still succumbs to many mistakes as he grows up, either having huge emotional reactions or sometimes getting stuck with things he can't correct. In the end, he learns to accept and let go in order to become a better hero. Now let's take Jake for example. At times he can be very reckless and even for a while had a past as a criminal. But through time he became very caring and helpful, whether to Finn or even his own children. Then we got someone like Princess Bubblegum, a caring leader and smart scientist, but also someone who has a tyrannical rule over her people. By the end, she learns to not drown out herself and be able to open up to other people. These are only a few of many stories that Oo's got to tell. And in a world like Ooh, it seems like everybody has a story to tell. So let's hear some of those.
Well, one Grable, lad.
Adventure Time can be fun or can be sad, but over everything they know how to be surreal with their storytelling. There are many episodes that I would like to mention, but I think I'm gonna stick with 2. Pujoy and Jake the Brick. Let's start with Pujoy. We first see Finn feeling a little fed up with his relationship, so he decides to do a little quote-unquote festering. He just didn't imagine where that would take him. As he lives on the imaginary pillow world, he even grows to have a family and to the old age of dying, till inevitably he comes back to his reality. I guess after a while you can't really run away from things, and it's important to tackle them head on. Now let's look at Jake the Brick. In the beginning, Jake wondered what it would feel like to be a brick in a fallen shackle, and through this experiment we witness a bunny living through the forces of nature, such as predators or even natural hazards. In an episode turned podcast, we see all of Who united over the fate of a bunny, who even with the help of other animals, is able to keep going, and even shows us how to look the bright side of things. But I mean, how could this show really go for infinity? In fact, it already ended 5 years ago. How could anything really last forever? Eventually it'll be forgotten, it'll be finished, it'll be done, you know. So this video is just probably a big joke, right?
Probably not, but who knows? I've been around forever and experienced so much impossible junk. I've embodied all that is good and evil.
This is to me the core of Adventure Time. A world which always grows, always changes, and always becomes something new. It is said that every 1,000 years something happens with you, whether it be a comet or a great mushroom war. It's amazing to think about the effects that actions can have in 1,000 years. What would you do if your actions had effect into 1,000 years in the future? The possibilities are so endless that it can feel a bit frightening.
You see, Jake, there's rules to this stuff. Wishing an event to be changes elements before and after it. Memories will be destroyed, babies will not be born. Potential worlds could be evaporated by your wish.
But I don't think that should stop us. Everything grows, changes, and becomes something new. But in a sweet way, everything stays.
I never would have gotten out of there without your singing. It's amazing how strong that song was.
I guess being infinite is more of a matter of growth. And I don't think the show has grown as much as Adventure Time. You know, when I really think about it, it's kind of like music.
Music is powerful, man. It speaks to a primal pit in our brains. It makes anyone want to get up and get their knees going. Gotta get them pumping, pumping, pumping. Boom, 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 boom.
De pássaro que não sabe puxar. Viver a vida de pássaro que não sabe puxar. Viver a vida de pássaro que não sabe puxar. Viver a vida de pássaro que não sabe